prizes. We have Mike Stenhouse with the Rhode Island Center for Freedom and Prosperity first, so I want to welcome him on. Nice to see you today, sir.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on.
Congratulations.
Well, welcome to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center here on 90 Way Boston Street. It is a great view. We get a lot of interesting light angles coming in at different parts of the day. It's still a work in progress. We're really excited to be able to talk with newsmakers and folks and bring it directly live to our audience about things that they want to talk about. And just talked with Carl Waddington from Commerce Corporation, and I know I want to talk with you about...
a great Rhode Islander.
Specifically, one of the things that you had mentioned not too long ago was the Governor's new Manufacturing Advisory Council, and I spoke a little bit with Carl about this. Your call for economic diversity on this soon-to-be-announced who will be on this advisory council. You're always the watchdog looking out to see what might be the intentions and agenda of folks when they put things forth. And I know that also Ray Rickman, who you've partnered with the Freedom, the Economic Prosperity, the Index, the Family Prosperity Index, that you had spoken with him about, and he agrees with your call for this economic diversity. Explain to folks exactly what you mean by that and why it's important.
Well, Ray and I are a good example of the left and the right coming together under this Family Prosperity Coalition banner that's new and it's going to grow. We've already got some new people who have agreed to be part of it. So what we're really concerned about is public policy and government that seems to constantly benefit the insiders, whether it's corporate welfare or whether it's other special deals for special groups, unions, or all their special interest groups. The person that seems to always get left out is the taxpayer and just the average family. And they're usually not represented on these highfalutin committees and commissions that often get thrown together. So Ray's going to talk to you about one aspect of diversity in a few minutes on that commission, but we believe somebody ought to be representing the taxpayers.
Yes.
We believe somebody, so that if there's going to, because I don't know what the truth of it is, but one of the articles about the commission said, how are we going to spend this pot of tens of millions of dollars in what we would call corporate welfare? Well, is that going to be $20 million, and who's going to represent the taxpayer on that?
And you say represent the taxpayer, so you're not necessarily talking even about a business owner. You're talking maybe an ombudsman who really is there to say, is this in the best interest of the taxpayer? Here's a different perspective, and someone who has no skin in the game, so to speak.
Yeah, even a small business owner would be a taxpayer too, rather than, you look at the list, and I don't know all the names and all the companies on the list, but the ones I do know are really big companies, your typical cast of insiders. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but the fact that a government commission would be comprised entirely, you need that kind of diversity. The small business owner, people representing families, the taxpayer, and whatnot. So, again, you got to understand the official economic development policy of the state of Rhode Island, based on the Brookings Institution plan from 14 months ago, is to give handouts and subsidies to certain companies and certain industries. We disagree with that. We think that broad-based reforms that directly help families, that's our family prosperity, is the way to go. And so not only aren't families getting any handouts, they're being asked to pay for the corporate handouts. So don't you think maybe somebody ought to be represented on that council?
Well, I know you're pushing hard for that. Are you making suggestions to the administration? Have you heard from folks that were willing to step forth and say, this is something I believe strongly, and I think someone like myself should be on this advisory council?
Well, as an outsider, we don't have those contacts to the insider group, so that's why it's important we're talking to your audience
directly
today.
To the audience.
Talk directly to you. If you're part of that council, you'd like to see some more diverse representation on that commission, let me know. We do have some ideas, but until someone says they're interested in hearing them, we'll keep them undercover.
Now, I do know where you do wear a couple of hats. You're with the Center for Freedom and Prosperity, and you are with the Gatsby Project, which is more advocacy.
Less with the Gatsby now.
Less with the Gatsby. The governor is more than 2 years into her administration. We are looking at a gubernatorial race. We don't know who the field will be yet. But if you aren't obviously able to affect change with this current administration, obviously, do you see this as being a really major political hot button issue moving forward into the 2018 gubernatorial race? Helping the small
yeah.
versus the corporate welfare strategy that is espoused by the administration, has some support. We just had Carl Wattenson. He says, I get it from a certain standpoint, but you also have to be able to take care of and make sure that the existing businesses that are here can prosper.
So what you've got is you got kind of three groups as we see. You kind of see the Republican Party, you kind of see what I would call the Mattiello Democrats, and then there's the Progressive Democrats, and and then you got the statewide political class. The political class loves the corporate welfare, loves the special interests. The progressives really promote what we call extreme individualism, where they want, whether it's constant sick pay, all these concessions from government, high minimum wages, all these paid time off policies. Though, if you want to know why we have the worst business climate in the country, it's this constant interference and meddling in the private sector. So that's coming from that wing of the party. But once again, it's the average family, it's the average small business owner who gets left out of the whole mix, and there's nobody really representing them. So we are trying to frame that as the issue, that somebody, this is why we have this whole family prosperity initiative for everybody. Somebody's got to pay attention to average families in the state of Rhode Island.
Which I know you continue to do. You just had the forum at Bryant University at the Hassenfeld Center there. And I do know that Ray Rickman is here today with us to talk with us as well, because you issued that joint release, especially concerning, again, the diversity on the Manufacturing Advisory Council. So wanted your standpoint from the Center for Freedom and Prosperity, but I was also looking to get Ray Rickman's as well, and I do know he's here, and if he's around the corner, would like to welcome him on.
Did he just step out?
He just stepped out. Well,
all right.
We'll continue to talk with Mike then about this. Well. So we've talked a little bit about this. You've had discussions with Ray before. How did you really bring him in the fold?
Ray and I met many years ago at some forum and had a really good conversation, even though we came from different perspectives. It was open, it was honest. I appreciated that in him. He appreciated that in me, that we could, even though while we have our firm political views, that doesn't mean we can't talk to each other and can't compare notes. And this is what this Family Prosperity Coalition is all about, is taking people, let's say, of open mind, of goodwill, who are willing to sit, instead of talking past each other, like we always do, especially with social media. It seems like all we do is yell at each other on social media, right? But we never actually sit down and collaborate. So Ray is one of those guys that has an open mind, and we're not going to agree on most issues. He recognizes that, I recognize that. But where we do agree, what we're finding early on, and it came to evidence with the criminal justice reform bills, the Justice Reinvestment Initiative, is that when the left and right get together and promote something, it sends a very strong signal to lawmakers and to the media and to the public. So we kind of liked it. So we said, let's keep doing more of that. And this Manufacturers Council, we have the same concerns. We have the same recommendations that we need to diversify the membership on it. Ray, also I'll speak for Ray if I can, forgive me. But Ray did not, again, recognize anybody from a minority manufacturing or business perspective on that council. Now, I don't know if there is or isn't, because I didn't recognize all the names on there either. But that was Ray's concern. We do have a Rhode Island Black Business Association. There are a lot of minority groups, and I don't know if they were consulted to put somebody on this council or not, but they should be.
Yes.
And that would be Ray's position. So we have a lot of, there's a lot of people involved. It's a good thing. Let me say, it's a good thing that we try to think about how to reinvent manufacturing in the state, right?
Yes, especially.
But we got to think about it from a holistic point of view, not from an insider, big company point of view, because it's small businesses, it's small entrepreneurs that will turn the state around from a job growth and economic perspective. The big companies are great. We need some of those anchor big companies, but they're not. Studies show it's the small businesses that will really make the difference, and that's why we need that kind of representation.
So what can we expect to see in the coming weeks and months coming out of the Center for Freedom and Prosperity? Oftentimes weighing in on things that are taking place throughout the state, as they happen, but you're also working on a number of policy and research initiatives. What do you have cooking? What can
Let
what
me
can
give
we...
you a big tease.
Oh, big tease. Okay.
All right, is that okay?
Valentine's Day, big tease. Here we go.
We've actually said it before a little bit, but this will probably be our broadest audience. Very soon, we're going to be coming out. You may recall years ago that our center was advocating to repeal the sales tax.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason nobody really listened to us in the political class because nobody had the attitude to try to cut any money from the budget, which you'd have to do in order to get all that economic stimulus and job growth. But now that there's talk about budget cuts to pay for car tax, we're putting the two side by side. The car tax, sales tax, not repealing it, dropping it to a lower number, and I'll save that for our release. But the differences in economic stimulus between the two plans are stunning. And if we're going to be cutting taxes, and it's a good thing, don't get me wrong, it's a good thing that Speaker wants to allow people to keep more of the money. But if we can allow them to keep even more of their money and create even more new jobs and even more economic stimulus, would that be a better thing?
Now, who have you talked with in the General Assembly? Who's receptive, to this? Who's going to be pushing for it?
Well, that'll happen on its own. Probably not even with our lead.
Okay.
As you know, there are some issues with the car tax, the fairness issue, the different rates in the different towns. The sales tax reform will be very easy to implement and much more stimulative. And we've already received some inquiries without us even reaching out.
Wow.
So hopefully we'll have somebody stepping forward in that regard as well in the future. But the report itself will be quite eye-opening, I can promise you that.
And so what you're looking to do is, again, have viewers, readers, Rhode Islanders know what the options could possibly be on the table in addition to what it is that we're hearing about, and sort of seeing for themselves and being able to weigh from their own standpoint what you say are the economic incentives of doing either. So that how soon can we expect this, Mike?
I would say within a couple of weeks. It's more. We've got the report done. It's more trying to build a little coalition behind it now. But we all would love to have that back. That $200, $300, $400, $500 we pay in car taxes. But a lot of Rhode Islanders pay a heck of a lot more than that in sales taxes. And so not only would consumers get more money back in their pockets, the sales tax is a tax on business, all the goods they buy along the way. So that's the stimulus. So we're really excited about putting out this comparison and hope maybe you'll have us back.
Well, we'll certainly love to talk about it when you do. Again, Mike Stenhouse with the Rhode Island Center for Freedom and Prosperity. Very first visit to the Go Local Live studio here at 90 Way
Love
Boston.
it. It's great.
It's a great spot. I think it's like the window to the world. Oh yeah, old media.
Love it.
New media, where it's all happening. We like the juxtaposition. Well, appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for coming in today. We'll be having you on soon. So
Good luck with your show.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. Okay, thanks.